Alright guys, so I want to talk to you today about good old Extinction. And I'm sorry if the exact camera angle changes from shot to shot. I tried using Movie Maker. The audio is not working at all for me. It used to work. I have no idea why. You might see me go like this to turn it off. I'll try to do max endurance, but yeah. What is extinction? Of course, it's an organism, in our case an animal. It's abundant and it thrives, and the next thing you know in the fossil record it just disappears. Like, where'd it go? It just died out. And of course people always think about the dinosaurs and that extinction that was probably caused by the meteor. Well, they're probably in decline way before that with volcanism. But dinosaurs are really successful. People don't realize that. They didn't just go extinct because they were weak or mammals were better. Mammals were around, but the dinosaurs were so dominant that they mostly remained small, like cat or ferret sized. You had some exceptions. They got a little bit bigger, maybe like 10 to 12 kilos. I forget how many pounds that is. They could eat baby dinos, but there's no mammal at that time that could eat decent size like Triceratops or anything like that. But yeah, besides the extinction events and the mass extinction going on right now, the Anthropocene with all humans, all the habitat destruction, climate change, trawling, overfishing, mostly deforestation, climate change, and invasive species. Those are messing things up. Those are my notes. But besides the big extinction events, like extinction is always going on. Over 99.9, if not 99% of species that ever lived are extinct. So it's a very natural process. And the reason why animals go extinct is not always clear. It could have been climate change, could have been something else better came along. And it's not always possible to prove what caused something to go extinct, unless there's something that directly replaced it, where there's a huge extinction event, like the biggest extinction event ever, the Permian extinction before the first dinosaurs came along. That was a really, really nasty extinction. But before I lose your attention, I don't want to bore you about the end Permian extinction. There's all kinds of documentaries, books, you name it. People have talked and will keep talking about that Permian extinction. You had Pangea, you had deserts everywhere, the oceans were so anoxic, there were the Siberian traps, this huge lava flow, so much climate change, like nothing could adapt quick enough. And there were two pulses. That's what current research is showing. That 90% of ocean life went extinct and 70% of terrestrial life. If there was ever a time that life was nearly wiped out, it was definitely the Permian Triassic Extinction. Yeah, Permian Triassic extinctions. No doubt about that. Even though the end Cretaceous one that wiped out the dinosaurs, the ammonites, the spiral shell invertebrates, the mosasaurs, pterosaurs, all of that good jazz. That was pretty nasty too, but nothing compared to right now in the end Permian. But I'm mostly here, when I think about extinction, I think about the extinction of one of my favorite sharks, Hemipristocera, giant snaggletooth. Why did these go extinct? I always ask myself that. Here's my biggest upper I've ever found. 2014, Joshua Creek. Why did these go extinct? I do not know, but there are several possible explanations. And these went extinct around the same time that the Megalodon went extinct, around 2 million years ago. This is just a replica, but the teeth actually get this big, actually a little bit bigger, like 7 inches. This is like 6.5. And yeah, there's many thoughts about that. Before I get into the extinctions of the mega sharks from the Miocene, I just thought it was funny. I was reading a Lamarck book, that 19th century evolutionary biologist, and there's somebody, I can't remember if it was Lamarck or Cuvier or who, they noticed, they noticed the extinctions. They were among the first scientists that ever realized species went extinct, like they're no longer alive. And they thought that God just came and just wiped the slate clean and put new organisms in. And of course that's been disproven, through evolution. If you don't recognize evolution, I feel sorry for you, but definitely every species that comes after an extinction was related to something before the extinctions. There's no doubt about that. But anyways, these two. Well, these get bigger. This is like 1.5 inches. It's broken up to 2 inches or so. These definitely affected by ice ages, at least. They both thrived at a time when there were just whales everywhere. The whales, the dolphins, dugongs. I have some dugong fossils if you want to see those. I'll show you whether you want to see it or not. Well, that didn't sound right. Okay, but yeah, just people don't realize these thrived when there were a whole bunch of prey. And you can see my website. I explain why there's so much prey, but a lot of upwelling nutrients. But yeah. So you don't realize they grew this big because of favorable conditions. Once the favorable conditions go away, you have they go extinct, and other things eventually come to thrive. These didn't become outcompeted. You can't outcompete a megalodon or a fudging giant snaggletooth shark. These, maybe eventually they would be. It's debatable that, less favorable conditions plus, great whites lived at the same time as these, but outcompeted the young individuals may have been part of it, but there's no doubt in my mind that the ice ages, less abundant prey, because these things lived and thrived when there were plenty of other sharks, plenty of predatory whales. They didn't become outcompeted per se 100%. And that's just got my gut feeling. Just studying these things, looking at what stayed the same and what changed. So please take my word for it. Right, so here's fossil whale ear bone. I didn't find this. I had to buy it. I haven't found one of these this big yet. I'm pretty sure this is a baleen whale ear. I have some much smaller, the odontocetes, the tooth whales. I'm pretty sure this is some kind of baleen whale. The cedotheres, megalodons and snaggletooths probably preyed on them. Here's a dugong skull cap I found not too long ago. Pretty dense as well. Dugong rib. Lots of meat. And around the time that these went extinct, or were in serious decline, the sharks were in decline. So, is that a coincidence? I think not. And you find these very associated with each other. Predator, prey. And even before the dugongs, here's what snaggletooth teeth look like. They probably just mostly preyed on fish. This is the Hemipristis curvatus. Right, yeah. Sometimes I get the living one and the primitive one confused. The living one's elongata. But as you can see, these were small. Once the prey diversified, got really big, and favorable conditions, they just got bigger and bigger.